Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. I've had my OnePlus 13 for a little over a week now, and I gotta say it's been absolutely phenomenal. Sometimes there's phones that come out and they're just really good, and you're often wondering how could they be this good. It's possible. There is still a chance that companies can actually make a great smartphone, and it's not all bad. So we're going to be looking at it today. Hiccups, flaws. I've been trying to find some things I disliked about this phone, and it's purely cosmetic, to be honest. So I'll start with the dislike on the design here. And I think I mentioned this probably in the initial video, just the polished sides. And these sides are not high polished like some of the other phones I have in my catalog, but they are polished. I would have definitely enjoyed this to be the brushed aluminum look around the sides. But I understand with the color combination, they're going to, try to set it apart. So you have the Hasselblad logo in that polished look and the band that goes along here, along the back of the phone. And then also the camera ring, top of the camera module is polished as well. And so it's a uniform thing. This is just what they're doing. This is just how it goes. So with that, that's probably right now, as of me owning this phone for a week or a little over a week, that's probably my only dislike. And I know that's not a lot, but I mean, I can't make up things on the phone, and I won't push hard either on trying to find things wrong with the phone. It's actually flowing along perfectly fine. No issues whatsoever as far as the device itself mechanically. It's just good. So let's start with the design of this phone. This is where some people either love it or hate it. As some people like to say, either you like it or you dislike it. I personally am happy that the camera bump on this thing is not ginormous or protrudes out like the OnePlus Open that I'm actually recording this video with. So I'm happy that this camera module is a little bit more flush. I like it a lot. I do not like when camera modules protrude out too high. And this is a unique camera module in its own. It's a circle. They could have very well put these 4 camera modules on the back of this phone without the protruding circle like that, but they did a pretty good job. And the design of this phone is not bad at all. It's not as worrisome as the camera module on my OnePlus Open being protruding out so much. I feel it more. With this device, though, I really don't feel it much. So other than that, the design of the phone is actually beautiful. Like I said, aside from it not being brushed around the sides, I really like the design of this phone right here. And this color that I chose was the blue color. This texture is something that you'll just have to feel in person. It is absolutely I don't wear, even though I bought this case, and if I did have another complaint, it would be this case. I don't like how oily it gets, and I mean, it's here to protect the phone, and it's a really nice case, but it gets smudged up pretty good. But yeah, nonetheless, this is how I use my phone. I don't like to wear cases, and I think this is such a phenomenal feeling phone. You probably keep hearing people talk about this texture. It's hard to put into words. It's like a soft touch leather case. This is what it feels like. And I'm glad I went with this color, because that's the reason I got this color, was because I kept hearing things about the way this feels. And I said, well, I'm going with that. Plus, I like this color blue. This darker shade of blue is really nice. And this whole combination, the way they put this together, is actually pretty sleek. Now, speaking of sleek, when you get around to the side of this thing, it is a thin device for a 6,000 milliamp hour battery. And that's because they're using a stacked technology to produce this 6,000 milliamps in this phone. And they've done a phenomenal job. Hands down, this is one of the thinner phones on the market with a 6,000 milliamp hour battery inside. And I'm just happy that they were able to maintain a good looking phone and still make it very slim with a bigger battery. Now we come around to this side here, you can see the volume rocker and power button. On this side, you got the vibrate and mute switch there. On the top, sensors, speakers, for the IR blaster, microphones, and on the bottom here, speaker out and more microphones in the SIM tray with the Type-C. Coming along to the front here, wow. What can I say? This screen is one of the most beautiful displays of any phone that I've I've used lately. It's right up there with Samsung phones. Samsung makes some of the most beautiful displays, and this phone is no exception. It is absolutely stunning, folks. To see this in person, it gets plenty bright outside. Checking it outside, it gets plenty bright outside. I'm not measuring my phones outside when I'm using them in regular use. But I will say that using this outside, I realized like, well, I can pretty much view this thing in pretty much all angles. It gets really bright. And indoors, this is where it beats out the Pixel. The Pixel would be dumbing itself down right now for some reason, making the screen darker. And this phone is picking up the brightness, keeping it right when it should be. And I really like that. So that is a huge plus. This overall design of this phone and the beautiful screen complements it well. The footprint of the phone with this hardware is absolutely great. I'm not a fan of boxy squared off phones. Rounded feels better in the hand, nice and grippy. And it just feels really good coupled with this textured back on here. So the hardware, they get a full out 9.5. It's actually pretty good. If they can do a different module, that would be cool. Cause I do like the Pixel's camera module with the bar across, but this is their signature move right now. These round camera modules like this that protrude out. And so you'll know it's a OnePlus. Now, feature set, a feature that I don't use very much in the software, is this feature here, but it is very nice to have. I remember that it's there. I have mine docked away, so when I'm not using it, I can just have full access to my screen. I talked about this in the other video. I have it to where it disappears, and then it's not something that I'm constantly focusing on when I'm on the screen itself. So battery life on this thing, wow. It has been a pleasure to finally use a phone that I feel confident that if I leave the house, I can faithfully be gone all day and get some heavy use in there and still come home with at least, if I start on 100%, I'll come home with at least a half a battery. This is rare these days because companies are not doing the most when it comes to that. And speaking of battery, another thing that's rare is the fact that you get a charging brick in the box. And I think this is a sad conversation to have, that OnePlus is one of the few companies that actually give you a charging brick in the box. Now, personally, I'm using a 120 watt charger just because it's already out on my desk. But this can charge, OnePlus gives you an 80 watt charger in the box if you're in the United States. And overseas, I believe it's 100 watts. So you do still have 50 watt wireless charging. And it does have that MagSafe technology where you can lock things on the back here. Oh, shoot. Yeah. As soon as I want to demo it to you, it actually works. Maybe something's wrong with this, but it actually works extremely well. Oh, I think this is messing up or something like that. Yeah. But the MagSafe technology, it works very well. Let me see if I got something else here to show you. I don't know why it's trolling me right now, but nonetheless, it does have that MagSafe technology. And I'm okay. Now I don't know what's going on. But I can use the MagSafe technology without this case. So I don't know why it's trolling me now on camera. That is kind of strange because I have a MagSafe charger everywhere, next to my bed and everywhere, and it works great. But you can use that on here, and it's actually really sweet to use. I really like that that's something that's there. And I'm hearing that when you have a case with the other colors, you have to put that part that they give you inside the case. I use this. Really, that is weird that it's kind of troll. It's not giving that strong magnetic pull that it normally does. Very strange. But nonetheless, it works. I use it in the car, next to my bedside, just anywhere I want to charge the phone. I have wireless charging there. And I think that's pretty good. So if you couple this beautiful hardware with this beautiful display, and then you have great battery that lasts all day into the next day and possibly into the next day, and depending on who you are, into the next day. I briefly touched on the software, but the software is just mind-blowingly fast, coupled with this processor. Customizations is where it's at with OnePlus. It has always been about the customizations on here. And this is just something that, if you're buying a OnePlus, you're that person that's not going to say you're a techie per se, but you're just a person who is into technology and you want to have more control over your device than some other companies will allow you to have. And this device will check a lot of boxes right out of the box. You literally can customize this thing any way you want. You have these default wallpapers from OnePlus, but you can go into wallpaper and settings and actually change this wallpaper and change the wallpapers through like the Google version of it with the customizations. So let's set this wallpaper here. Apply it. You can obviously do styles and stuff like that, but yeah, you go into settings and you'll be able to do more personalizations on this phone here. So I'm really excited that they're allowing us. I shouldn't say allowing us, that we can pay for something that really allows you to rip into it without spending money on themes and launchers anymore, and we can just get right into it. I think this is great, man. I mean, I've always enjoyed customizing phones, and now you have the ability to pretty much do whatever you want on your phone. And I like these O emojis. I'm gonna have to play with the O emoji in a little bit. I'm gonna have to make sure I play with that just to kind of get a feel for it. But here's the settings menu. There is the last software update as well, folks, did wonders for this phone. This phone got a software update. Let me go into display here. I don't know why the home screen is showing in the bright mode, but the last update that happened, folks, was good. It actually gave something, and I'll lead right into that. It gave something to the cameras for the watermarks. If you notice on my watermark now, the watermark is different, and you have if you go into a phone that, like, I checked on my OnePlus Open that I'm recording with, it doesn't have all these options right here. This is the new watermarks that you can do here. At least when I checked, it didn't. You can do just all these different watermarks, man. And I think that is really nice because I like to do watermarks on my phone when I'm using it. So you've got all these different ones here. Look at this. This is crazy. You can change the way the camera looks on there. Isn't that wild? That's nuts, right? That's just crazy. You can change the text and location and everything. None. Let me see if I change the location. Yeah, it'll have the location there. You can do date, time, and location. You can just do anything you want on here. I just think that is so nice. And you can do a custom one here. I can do my handle here. I could save it like that, or I could change a custom one to smartphone conversations. Oh, it won't let me do it. Sometimes I'll do smartphone convo when it does that to me, and I'll do it like that. But you can have this any way you want, man. I really liked it. Oh, you can even do the camera parameters. You can do it like that. You can do the layout here. How do you want to do it? You can change the size of it. I mean, they've changed this last software update. I noticed this when I came in here and I was like, what the heck is this? And sure enough, it was here. So I was like, whoa, this is great. So I really am happy that there's something specific to the OnePlus that is not on other phones, I guess, with like the typical watermark. I personally like the watermark because sometimes I'm showing you what I'm doing with the phone. And I noticed this when I went in here. So with that, these cameras are amazing. They're simply amazing. There's a lot of things in this camera that give it I guess I'm comparing it next to my Pixel. There's a little bit more here. And the Pixel's camera software just doesn't have as much. And they've got the old X-Pan in there as well. And then you've got movie. There's just a lot in the camera app where it's not overwhelming. Now I basically live in this video section right here. But it's simply amazing. The camera quality on here, I've gone over the camera quality. I don't need to do it again. I've done a full video on it. I can tell you, let me see if I got anything left in here. I'll show you this again. I've done a lot of recording, but I've deleted a lot of the stuff to keep memory free on the phone. This is a 512 gig, but just for reference, I mean, you just can't go wrong with these cameras. And I like shooting. And here, let me go ahead and say this. HDR on the OnePlus 13 is simply amazing. And you should, I believe I'm going to code this video in HDR with the OnePlus Open as well. But HDR on this particular phone right here, you're looking at Pro XDR video on this OnePlus 13. This video is recorded. Wow, man, people ask questions like, well, is it better than the iPhone? Is it better than the Samsung? Is it better than, all I can tell you is that this screen, when I'm watching the HDR content that was shot on this phone, and then I watch the same HDR content that's shot on this phone on something else, it's beautiful. It's ridiculously good. So there's a line that you draw in the sand for certain things, but this particular phone's cameras are stupendous, man. I mean, they definitely are a spot above some other phones out there that I've used, and that is simply the truth. I use the video cameras a lot, so it's to me, that's where I'm going in to measure immediately. And I gotta say, I absolutely am blown away by these video cameras. So this is just a full week for me that has gone by of using this phone every day, and man, I really don't know what to tell the new owner of this phone or the person that's waiting for it to come in. You are going to be ecstatic once you start using this. You're going to be impressed with how lightweight it is. For it to be what it is, it's rounded in the right spots. The weight and the way it's distributed on this phone is perfect, which is why I like to use it with no case. I don't like to use cases on phones because I want to see the phone, feel the phone, and not have everything added to it. But I genuinely enjoy this phone, and I think it's going to be hard for me to put this down when it comes time to review the S25 lineup. And any new phone that's coming along, that's how much I like this phone right now. I'm not saying that the S25 Ultra or the S25 Plus that I get are going to be just not as good. I don't know yet. I have to get them in, but I am thoroughly impressed with this particular phone right here. So I hope you guys enjoyed 1 week with the OnePlus 13. Man, these are just my thoughts right now. Beautiful hardware, beautiful screen, amazing cameras, stellar performance, awesome battery, and it's priced perfectly. I wonder how much will change of that, and who's going to knock this phone off the chopping block when it comes along, because the price of this thing is mind blowing at $900 compared to all its competitors. 512 gigs, 16 gigs of RAM, $900, and all of this. Someone else needs to step their game up. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.